Hello and welcome back. Emily Jean if you're new here. And today I just wanted to share some tips on how to read more if that's something that you're interested in. Some super simple ways that you can incorporate reading back into your life or incorporate a little bit more reading. So if you're interested in that, grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's get cozy. I wanted to share a few of the things that helped me read more without feeling like I was changing a lot, just super simple things. So, reading before bed. I know, mind blowing, right? But it was really just the habit of picking up a book before bed. I've always been a nighttime reader, so it felt really right to grab my book before bed again. I didn't put pressure on the amount of pages to read or the amount of time that I wanted to read. I just committed to picking up a book before bed. Sometimes it would be one paragraph, one page, 5 minutes of reading. But every night I would just make sure to pick up that book, and it rebuilt that habit of reading again. It allowed me to break free of just scrolling through social media or watching TV till late. I mean, I'll still watch TV, but before I go to bed, the last thing I do is pick up that book. And it really helped just build that habit. So whether it's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning or the last thing that you do before you go to bed at night, I would recommit to just picking up that book and start there. That is a great place to just make sure that you can start reading a little bit more. Next recommendation is to dust your library card off or get one if you don't have one yet. A lot of libraries are still doing curbside pickup. So if you don't necessarily want to go in, you can still pick up your books. You can go to the online catalog, put them reserved, and then they'll let you know when they're ready. But the reason I recommend this is librarians, I don't know if they're underrated, but they are amazing. They want to give you recommendations. Our local library is amazing. Our librarians are amazing. And if I say, I really love this book and I want that sort of reading experience again, they are so willing and able to give me like a ton of recommendations in that vein and really support continuing that reading. So lean on your library, lean on your librarians. That way you don't have to spend a lot of money on books you don't know if you're going to enjoy or not. You're supporting your local libraries. I just highly recommend supporting your local libraries, getting to know your librarians, and asking them for recommendations too. Okay, third tip. Watch a few BookTuber recommendation videos. Your TBR is going to grow really fast. So maybe look up reviews for some of your favorite books that you already know. Find people who are talking about those books. Go to their channel, see if you resonate with their energy, and then see what their other recommendations are. You'll start building up your TBR again, because I think sometimes what stops us from reading is just not being super excited about anything in particular to read. Like we're thinking about reading as this abstract concept. Yes, I like this thing called reading, but we don't have a book that's really calling us in. So if you watch some recommendations, it really gets me excited of like, oh, I want to be in that world too, or I want to have that experience too. And then you kind of start to get these books you're really excited about, and you're excited to finish one book so you can read the next, and it just builds on itself. So watch some BookTuber recommendations or TikTok recommendations, something like that, where you can get your TBR building. Next, I'd say join some Facebook reading groups or social reading groups, Patreons, wherever you can find a reading group. But I like the online groups because you're not necessarily talking about just one book. So I'm not talking about a book club. I'm talking about reading groups. On Facebook, I'm in a bunch. I think one is Women Reading Great Books. I'll link some of them in the description box below. Bitchy Bookworms, I think is another one. There's one just for like dedicated for your favorite books. I'm in like a Murderbot Diaries Facebook group. So the reason I like groups rather than book clubs is there's no pressure to read a certain book, and you can always find somebody who's willing to give a recommendation or wants to chat about a book that you read. So it's a great way to just be surrounded by readers and enjoy talking about reading, and not necessarily, I haven't been liking book clubs this past year because it feels like I had to like force the book into my TBR, and then if I didn't really want to read it because I was in the mood for something else, I felt pressured to. That might be a me thing, but I liked the reading groups a little bit more than book clubs. And of course, BookTube, hello, you can find people that you resonate with, you can chat, get to know them, and know that you have the support of other readers around you, which is really nice. The last thing I would say, which is probably not for everybody, but helped me when I was getting back into reading regularly again, was I actually invested in a few book boxes, which helped me build my TBR again. Because going from 12 books to 59 books, I had kind of lost the sense of new releases that were coming out or books that I was interested in reading. And getting the book box, you get like a couple of books each month, and depending on what you choose, I'll link my favorites below. My favorite book box was And the Story Begins. It's literally just 2 books, so wrapped in paper, a mystery. You don't know what they're going to be. You can pick your theme if you want like YA or adult fantasy or contemporary fiction, I think. Really affordable, and then you could just get 2 surprise books. So that helped me like remember what I like to read or try different styles. Eventually I stopped the book box because my TBR started growing naturally and I didn't really need that source of inspiration anymore, but it might be something fun to try to get you excited about reading again. So And the Story Begins is a great one. If you want something that's more like an experience, there are a bunch of awesome book boxes out there where you get like little goodies with the box too. So I'll share one of my favorites of those. And then my final tip is to remove any shoulds from your reading. That you should be reading a certain genre, or you should be reading a certain age level, or that you should be reading any shoulds. Get it out of your reading TBR unless there's a specific reason that you need a should. But make sure if you're wanting to get back into reading, you're wanting to read more, that you're reading things that you're excited about. No matter if it's a juvenile book or a middle grade book or a YA book or adult fantasy or classic or sci-fi, there's just a romance. Like there seems to be judgment and pressure on certain categories. Like we even call some books are guilty pleasures. Like, go for it. Have your guilty pleasures. We're reading for enjoyment. We're reading to expand our minds, our hearts, our understanding of the world around it. Especially if you're in a slump, just go for the things that you know you're going to enjoy, and then branch out into some of those other categories you're not quite sure if you enjoy, but you'd like to explore. Take the pressure off yourself. Let go of the expectations and go to the things that you're drawn to. Don't worry about what anybody else is going to think about your reading style. Just read the books that make you happy, that make your heart full, because that, for me, my friends, is the purpose of reading: to fill our hearts, expand our mind, connect to other people or worlds or experiences. So give yourself that freedom and play. Those are my tips for reading more in 2022. Let me know what you think, if this was helpful. Let me know if you have some tips in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye, guys.